Hello, welcome back to Beauty Bee, where my shirt is looking very fluorescent, but that's okay. It shouldn't be throwing the color off too much. I decided that today I was just going to do a quick get ready with me using my Project Pan stuff. If you have not been around this channel before, I'm doing a year-long Project Pan. It has items from pretty much every category in my makeup collection, and I'm just trying to use some things up, get some things moved out, and hopefully cut down my collection just a little bit. Or at least cut the fluff, Get rid of the things that I don't use, don't need, and would be just fine without. So I'm actually starting out with something that isn't in my Project Pan. This is just a moisturizer. And I think that I'm going to try to find my little sample of the Porefessional to use just around my nose. That's where I tend to get the biggest pores, and really over the rest of my face I don't have a ton of texture. I'm pretty lucky in that regard. Let's see if I can't move my mirror so that it would be in a little bit of a better spot. What do you guys think of this different angle? I'm just trying something new out today. Okay, so I think next I'm going to work on my base makeup, and for that what I've been doing is using this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I'm actually trying to finish up this concealer this year. I've just been sort of dotting that over my face. I think this is actually just a little hair warm and maybe a little bit dark for me by itself. But when I mix it in with this tinted but barely tinted moisturizer, it's from e.l.f., it seems to work pretty well. It also helps it from looking too cakey. Putting concealer all over your face is kind of asking for cake face. Okay. I'm going to use this really dense brush to blend that in. I left my forehead blank because I left my forehead bare because I just don't feel like I need it on my forehead. All that I tend to see on my forehead when I put foundation or concealer there is that it gets in my hair throughout the day, and I don't really need that. It's not like you can see a ton of my forehead anyway. Like, if my bangs stay where they're supposed to, you shouldn't be able to see it hardly at all. Okay, so that's looking good. I think now I'm going to use this lipstick as a little bit of cream blush. I'm just gonna dig my nail into that on accident as I'm trying to reach for my hair. Goodness. This is actually also in my Project Pan. It's the Maybelline Pink for me. I think I'm actually just going to use that same brush. Why not? Let's blend that in. A little on my nose and then up. I have no idea if I'm staying in for aim or not, but I hope I am. Okay, so I'm liking where that is at. I will need to set all of this down with powder, whether that be powder blush, bronzer, highlight, or just, regular old setting powder, because otherwise my skin will just eat it throughout the day. But for right now, I think we are good. I'm gonna go in with some eye primer now. This is the Wet n Wild one. I use this all the time. I'm so happy to finally get to start up my project again. It's not like I wasn't working on it, but I felt like I wasn't making any progress on so many items. because they were here at my apartment when I was at my parents' house. But now I think I can start to see some progress. I mean, I did my nails last night and I'm so close to being done with the nail polish I used. I mean, that was where this blue line is where it was before I did my nails, and I think I'm closer to down here now. I mean, I can see some texture in the bottle all the way down to here, so might be very, very close. Okay, I am just not on track at all today. I think next I'm going to set down that eyeshadow primer. I really haven't figured out what I'm going to do for my eyes yet. Maybe I should have thought through that before I sat down to film, but I didn't. Part of me wants to just do the rest of my makeup and then figure out the eyes, but I don't know. I'm also going to do my brows while I'm at it. So I've got my little Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette that has my brow powder. Oh dear. It's just gotten to the point where every time I use it, I feel like parts just crumble, pieces just crumble off of it, which not great. I mean, I guess it's good for my project pan, considering that I'm trying to finish it off this year, but not really how I want to be finishing it. Okay, so that's looking good. Now I think, I don't know what I want. Let's just get out my project pan shadows and then we can sort of figure it out. So the shades that I have not been using, because they've been here rather than at my parents' house, are this sort of light brown. It's a little bit of a beige brown. This entire project is focused around finishing things up that I've had for quite a while. So a lot of them are very close to being done already. And then I want to work on these two shades. I also want to finish up this shade right here. It's sort of a champagne from Wet n Wild. I mean, that's the least pigmented little set of swatches ever, but you know what? I like that they are not super pigmented because it means they are buildable. It means that I can wear them in as subtle of a way as I want. So I think I'm going to start with a little bit of this brown just on this, what is this brush? A crease brush? It's kind of a smaller, denser crease brush from e.l.f. Just gonna, you know, stick that in my crease. I think I want to do some winged liner today. I've been just loving that shape on me. I think it really complements my features quite well. Okay. Now for some of the gold, I'm just going to take that on my finger. I didn't even think about the fact that I'd been, you know, swatching multiple shades, but oh well, it seems to be working okay for me right now. That's going to be overall pretty subtle, so I might go into a little bit of my mint glitter from my NYX palette, which is actually in this project too, and add just a little bit of that to the inner corner. I feel like that will make things just a little bit more interesting. Yeah, that seems like a good plan. Before I do that though, I want to run just a little bit of this rosy shade under my eye with my smudger brush over on the little couch. I don't feel like going to grab it, so I guess this is what we're working with now. Okay. Oof. I don't like that brush very much at all. I mean, a tiny little bit of glitter primer. Just gonna put that in the inner corner. And then use that same finger, a bit of the green, just tap it on. Yeah, just a little bit of something. Okay. So now for the liquid liner. I have this new one from Wet n Wild, which I've actually been really liking so far. I've only used it once, so it doesn't mean a whole lot, but you know, the one time I've used it, it's really worked pretty well for me. It's not too bad. I know you're not supposed to pull your lid, but if I don't, I feel like I never can get the shape that I want. I'm just gonna extend that a tiny bit on the lower lash line. I feel like that helps it look a little bit less piecey. Okay. Now for some mascara. I think because I have so much liner going on, it would make sense to do both top and bottom, just to tie everything in together. So I think that is looking good. Now, let's see. I do think I could use a little bit more blush just to set things down. And I'm going to need to powder things, so let's actually start with the powder. I'm using this little sample of my Kat Von D Locket powder. This is the translucent one that they gave away in a birthday gift at Sephora at some point in the somewhat distant past. Where I put my foundation. Okay. Now here's the scary part where I try to get it back into any excess out of the cap. Okay. I made a moderate mess, but it wasn't too bad this time. I want a little bit of blush. I'm going to be using my Tarte one, which again is in this project because isn't everything in this video. Just a swirl. I think I'm also, just while I'm at it, going to mix it in with a little bit Park Avenue Princess, which actually came in the same set, I think, when I bought this like 2 years ago or something ridiculous. I probably shouldn't admit to. Just gonna go over that, any area where I had the blush. I'm also gonna put a little bit of that on my forehead because why not? I've really been liking mixing my blush and my bronzer before I put it on my forehead because I feel like it makes the bronzer just look a little bit more natural. I find that my skin tone doesn't tend to, well, okay, I don't bronze at all, let's be real, but when I do, get a little bit of extra color into my skin. It tends to be somewhat pink toned, and I think that mixing a blush in with the bronzer helps to mimic that somewhat. So just think, I'll just put it sort of all the way down the neck, because why not? Okay, so that's good. Now I want to do a little bit of highlights. For that, I think I'm going to use my Mega Glow highlighting palettes. You can fill the words in at this point, I'm sure. Yes, it is in this project. And let's see, I think I'm going to use just this little blush brush from e.l.f. and probably a mixture of the white and the pink. Just right along my cheekbones. Down onto the cheeks just a little bit. Okay, so I'm liking where all of that is at. Actually, I want to add just a little bit of that same color or the same mixture under my brow bone. On my brow bone, under my brow. I feel like I make that mistake in about every other video. Okay. I think that overall this is looking pretty good. I do want to add a little bit of lip color, which I feel like I have unlimited options. Let's actually go for this Revlon Cherries in the Snow. But first I'm going to line my lips with my lip liner. I actually have a pink. I have two pinks in this project. No, I have three pinks in this project. I have sort of a nude pink, another nude pink, and another nude pink. But the short version is one of them's a little bit more mauve, one of them's a little bit warmer, and one of them is sort of a pretty run-of-the-mill pinky nude. I don't know, it's just the color that I wear the most. It's definitely the color that I've bought the most of over the years. So I decided that it should probably be the color that I should really focus on for this project, but I'm just not feeling that today. So instead we're going with this Cherries in the Snow, which is like a very bright pink with a lot of red in it. And though I don't think it is looking, oh no, it does look like it on camera. My lips and the shirt actually very close in color. I am going to add a little bit of setting spray. This isn't in the project either because I only have one of them and I don't really care how long it takes me to use up. I feel like I have to shield my bangs from the setting spray. And then just to finish things off, I'm going to use a little bit of my Pacifica Island Vanilla Perfumed Hair and Body Mist, which is indeed in this project. And it's delightful. I really enjoy this scent. Okay, so I think that is it. Before I breathed too much of that body mist, let's end this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you will come check on the progress for the Project Pan in a week or two. I usually post updates for that right around the 1st. Thanks again for watching. Hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed, and I really hope I'll see you next time. Bye!